All right, everyone, rise for flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone in attendance and on Zoom for attending our Egg Harbor City Council meeting, December 16th, 2021. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Egg Harbor City Common Council was provided in the following manner. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City Hall bulletin board. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City website. Advance written notice of this meeting was sent to the Hamilton Gazette, the news, the press, and current. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing requirements, the meeting is being conducted via Zoom and conference call. The meeting is also being recorded to air on the Egg Harbor City website, channel 97. And roll call, please.
Mayor Jim Petty. Here. Brown. Here. Clark. Here. Dash.
Here.
Heist. Here. Sefton.
Here.
Timbers.
Here.
I'm here too.
Right.
Here.
Richie.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, as you're all aware, we have an executive session. May I have a resolution to move into, or I'm sorry, a motion to move into the.
I make that motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, if I may ask the public to exit.
We need to put something on the record. Yeah, we're going to. No, I mean, just. I thought we were putting something on the
Yeah, so if the public could leave the room and shut the door behind you, and then we will let you know when we're ready for you. Yeah. All right, so here's the problem with this.
Okay. Thank you everyone for giving us that time. We greatly appreciate it. Moving on with our regular agenda. Item 5 on the agenda to approve the minutes from November 15th, 2021 special meeting and November 18th, 2021 council meeting. I have a motion, please. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mayor, it's your floor.
Okay, couple things. First off, I have a resignation from Mark Emmer. I want to read, he said, now that you have established a complete chain of command within the Egg Harbor Police Department, and there is an open line of communication between the police department and the mayor's office, I feel that my services are no longer needed. In addition, my employment with the city of Egg Harbor has created certain conflicts that have limited my ability to practice law in certain municipalities. Due to the above reasons, I will not be renewing my contract, which ends on December 31st, 2021. It was a pleasure working with you and City Council and all the members of the Egg Harbor City Police Department. Mark Emmer.
Anybody up here? Mark's not here. I don't know if he's on Zoom, but go on record. Anybody want to say anything?
I do, Mr. President, I want to thank Director Emmer, for his insight and also his assistance until we got chief of police with us, mayor, and the police department.
Okay. I want to thank Mark. I've actually witnessed him operate in court, and I know that he's going to enjoy getting back out there as fully as he can.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to Mark for bridging a very necessary gap between the governing body and the police department to the point that we are now in a position to have a chief of police, which I don't feel would have happened had Mark not stepped in and bridged that gap. So I am forever thankful for that.
Anyone else?
Mark, I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you've done, and we really enjoyed having you.
I'd like to reiterate the same things. Mark's always been a professional. I remember when he's been in the role before. I was happy to have him back this time, and we're certainly going to miss him.
Anyone else?
Thanks, Mark. You're a stand-up guy.
And I'll close with, there's nothing more to say, Mark, other than thank you, and we greatly appreciate it.
So moving on to I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I also would like to thank Mark. He did a great job. He was a big help and took a big load off my plate, and I do appreciate that. But I will say again, as I've said before, it was always the intention of this administration and the previous one to have a chief of police. And it didn't have very much to do with Mark Emmer. Right? The line of communication, fortunately, was opened by the new chief directly with a phone call to me. And that's how it really started. Not to diminish Mark's support in the police department, because he did support everyone. He was a team player, and he dealt with the public very well, and he would do anything he was asked to do. But going way back, the intention of the city was to have a chief of police, and that has come to fruition.
Thank you, Mayor.
So with that, I'll do the rest of my report.
Awesome, thank you. I apologize again.
I'd asked Jody to look into another sustainable Jersey grant. She's going to do that, to do upgrades at City Hall. That's for the server, right, Jody? Or
The Angie one?
yeah,
Yeah, we talked about trying to upgrade the council room to improve the audio visual for the council meeting. So someone came yesterday to take a look, so hopefully we'll have better cameras, better microphones, better audio, better, people at home can hear better and maybe watch it later.
okay,
So the grant is not due till February, so we probably won't know for a little while, but hopefully that will be something that will get in the future.
and I'll remind everybody, we are eligible for these grants because we do have a bronze certification. So that's a good thing. Also want to, in case you didn't read your email, or I'd like to announce it publicly, that we do have a holiday light display this year. So all you have to do is light up your house between 5:30 and 8 and to participate, and your house will be judged. And I will have the results on the official Egg Harbor City Facebook page and the official Instagram by January 5th. So after 23rd, by January 5th. It'll also be announced at our reorganization meeting on January 5th, and the prizes will be awarded on January 20th. So good luck to everybody, and make sure your lights are on, and you can get into the contest. The prizes actually are $100 first prize, $50 second, and $25 for third. Also, I do want to remind City Council that several years ago, I'm not sure whether, I know I brought this up before, but the council voted to bond to fix Liverpool Avenue. I don't know if anybody was here at that point in time, but we've had an awful lot of residents come into the city council room and ask that it be fixed. If you look down the 300 block of Liverpool, you'll see it looks similar to Washington Avenue. It's kind of cracked on the end, and the water is flowing through, and in the winter, it's all ice, and it also is a hazard because it's uneven. So I would just like to remind council that was voted to go out to bond for, and I was wondering whether this council is going to honor that, because I was approached by several residents regarding that and wondering if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can ask is if we could just have all the details set to be looked over, and it can definitely be put on the agenda for the second meeting of January if there's no time restraint.
Brian, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that?
Provide an updated cost estimate. I mean, there's a whole bunch of spots in town, but this one in particular, there's a spot where there's a puddle that extends out 6 or 7 feet and was 5 or 6 inches deep at its worst. Long gutter, like 200 or so feet long. Numerous other significant failures. So obviously not in great shape, but we can provide an updated cost estimate and then talk over a way to try to meet that.
Do you remember the reason why it wasn't done at the time it was bonded?
Well, it was not bonded for. Council
No.
sort of informally you know, and the people were here said, okay, we will. take
Okay,
that on
so
and
it was
bond
said,
for it.
but it wasn't,
And that's right.
okay, didn't
I
think.
believe at the time, when we discussed it, there was other streets that were a lot more worse.
Okay,
That's why we couldn't use the grant money.
Right, exactly.
Well, and for years, we had a strategy of applying for small cities funds in the one block that qualified, and then state aid everywhere else in town. And we had numerous successful small cities projects sort of every other year for a while, and then that stopped. So that was one of the ones that we applied for, I think, once or twice, and we didn't get it, and didn't get it, and didn't get it, and we didn't bond for it, so it's just sort of.
Yeah, if I could ask you to send out the full details on it, and I'm guessing it's gonna be an ordinance, public meeting and everything, or?
Yeah, ordinance would have to be placed.
Okay. Do you have any approximate how long ago this was?
There you go.
We had a
I was gonna say
resident
about
from-
5 years.
I think I was
I
here.
started asking 7 years ago,
Okay.
and 5 years ago is when you guys said it's gonna get done. And it's gotten worse.
So full details, and then we'll have it on the agenda for January 20th.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess last but not least, something that was said last night really resonated with me because I did my dissertation for my doctorate on strategic planning in small municipalities. And my hope was to actually create a strategic plan for Egg Harbor City someday. We have one for the police department, which, well, we did have one. It was completed pretty much, except for a couple items, which really one of them is being completed right now. But we have a master plan, and the master plan speaks about land use, which is fine, and every municipality has to have one. You can incorporate, and I think I did bring this up before, you can incorporate a vision, mission, a vision statement, a mission statement, and core values. You can incorporate that into your master plan. Every organization has a strategic plan, and it starts with that. And then once you get your vision, mission, and core values, basically you just sit and brainstorm with what's important to us. Well, you do that for those things also. And you have sort of something that everybody agrees on, and everybody's headed in the same direction. And my research showed that people really want to have a strategic plan in a municipality because it's good for everybody. Everybody's on the same page. You have to build stakeholder alliances, and most important, the stakeholders have to want it. You can't do projects and spend money on things that people don't find important or want. Some people, maybe some people on council would like to do roads. Maybe that's an important thing that you think the city should do. Well, do the residents feel that way? That's what has to be determined. And I think it would be a good thing to do this coming year. If council would like to do that, I would certainly be happy to facilitate it. So just throwing it out there.
I'm absolutely 100% behind you on that. I think it's a great idea. I would hope everybody sitting up here is with me
Yeah, I agree,
and
100%
with
as
the
well.
mayor on that. Absolutely. There should be no reason why we can't all get together, talk, and have a vision moving forward. So, feel free, Mayor, set up some dates in January, whenever you feel you want to, and I think you will have 100% participation from it.
Great. And it's almost like, I don't know, Scott, you were involved in the strategic planning for the NPP grant, almost the same thing
Same
like
thing.
that. So it's not painful, right, Scott?
Yeah, actually some good brainstorming.
Yeah.
It really is.
All right, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to committee chair reports. So we will start with Councilman Trithall, safety.
I'm gonna defer to the chief for her to give some of the things that transpired.
I don't think you knew that. But,
I got you.
No, she knows. She can say it better with a little bit more enthusiasm.
All right, Councilwoman Heist, highway and property parks playground.
Okay, highway, Keith called me the other day, the guys in highway are asking, instead of having Thursday and Friday off for the holiday, if they could have, because usually they get one for Christmas, one for Christmas Eve, so it would be Thursday, Friday. They're asking instead if they could have Friday, Monday. He said he has more than enough coverage. He doesn't see a problem with it. He just wanted to run it by us to make sure it was okay, that they would have Friday, Monday opposed to Thursday, Friday.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor, you designate the days off for holidays or?
For Christmas Eve, it's usually, we call it the mayor's holiday, would be used typically.
I tried to take it away once, but I got yelled at.
We typically take Christmas Eve, but the way it falls this year, so I don't know moving forward how that will work, but.
Yeah, I mean, basically for this year, that way they're not, because I know even my husband has Friday, Monday. So if I had Thursday, Friday, I would be like, okay, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So.
I was the same way, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Thursday,
so
Friday.
if nobody has a problem with it, then, he can go back and tell his guys that's.
I don't have an issue.
I don't
I'm
know.
fine with it.
So I'm good with it, but I mean, are we doing one and not the rest? I mean, is it just gonna be them? So that's how I'm looking at it, like.
I'm only highway.
Several people are on vacation, so I don't know if it impacts, Jody and I are here. Oh, no, I guess I'm here. You want me to? I think I'm the only one here.
Yeah, hopefully so.
I don't know.
And she don't need to be home.
So,
Me and that.
yeah. Mayor, you okay with this?
Yeah, it's fine.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Mr. Adams, you can advise.
Alright, the other thing is, Keith and I met, God, a month and a half, 2 months ago, out at, the yard. The salt shed that we have out at the yard, the bottom base of it, Keith, go ahead. It's your shed.
So we had built, Ryan may have the actual date of when we built it, but it's been a while. We built what we would call a salt shed out there. It's a wooden structure, block base, asphalt bottom, paving, and it was coated at the time with some dirt on the outside, so you can push a machine through the salt. I think it's 4 to 5 courses of block up have been pitted in almost 1.5 inches in some spots. There's holes in some spots. The outside of the building, we redid some of the fascia board this year, but it's just really going bad quick because of the salt being in the building. The moisture that it's holding it's doing no service to the building. So Don and I had talked, we don't typically use a ton of salt running through the town. We do some of our city-owned parking lots here, the library, stuff like that. Anything that we would need, I could either A, do out of pallets, or B, the alternative would be that we talked with Mulligan Township and said, listen, we'll bring you the salt that we have on hand now. They'll count it up, they'll give us that credit. When we need it, they can load us up. Anything outside of that, we could do a shared service, kind of purchase it through them if we need it. We have brine now that we use through the county. We buy through the county. We brine pretty much the whole town. We brine the intersections. The only thing, like I said, if I had the salt, I could almost do it out of a pallet and pickup truck. That would free up that shed. We could kind of clean it out, power wash it out, parge the walls, maybe put a front on it because it's open, and use it as cold storage, which is going to come in handy once the utility department's going. So that's kind of the idea where we're going with the salt portion of it.
So with the salt portion of it, you mentioned we would contribute our stock to Mulligan.
They would give us that inventory. So if we truck 5 loads to them, they owe us 5 loads and we need it before we pay for it.
Okay, the only thing I would ask the cost effectiveness once we run out of that stock compared to the pallet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess I know Jody said it's not a big deal for us to buy off of them. I guess we have to get a price before we went out and bought a couple skids of, salt to see what's better. I'm not a huge fan of salt. You put a spreader on the truck, it traps it, it destroys the trucks. To take a guy and throw it in the state body, and we do the walk bridge, we do here. A guy could salt the whole town in 5 hours by hand, and he's they're already shoveling and so on and so forth. And half the time we have the brine machine, which has a hose reel on it. We usually pre-brine city halls, walkways, parking lot, and stuff like that, kind of to help us in the future. So it's very minimal what we use on salt. And I'll probably say this, and we'll probably do this, and it'll be the coldest, snowiest winter. And we'll be trucking salt back from Mulligan the whole winter. Yeah, for history reasons, we're not using that much in the last 5 years. So, and it's going to free up some storage, and that's something that we have a lot of stuff to store, and I love it because Candace always calls me from the MVP and says, "Can you put this in your warehouse?" And I'm going, "Can you drive me to show me the warehouse?" You know, 'cause I got stuff in every corner of this town. So,
And you can't have the log cabin anymore.
yeah, no, we can't have the log cabin. We lost the log cabin, and then so I think for minimal work on our part and some lumber, we can turn it into a secure storage, place, and then we'll still be able to have salt when needed. And I have talked to Chuck, who is superintendent for Mocha. He has ran it past them. Everything's good. He's just kind of waiting for our answer. And unfortunately, with Donna being ill, it didn't get brought up last week. So we're kind of addressing it now.
Any questions, comments? Anybody in favor?
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Anybody opposed to it?
One more thing. A few years ago, I'm gonna say 3, 4, we bought a snow box. It's a large box that goes on the front of a truck and they push it through a parking lot where it's snow. Keith said it's been used twice.
Fell off the first time.
The first time it fell off.
It goes on the back end, just to be clear.
Okay, it goes on the backhoe and then they push it. He said that just getting it from the yard into the city is a safety hazard. It's big. You really can't tie it down. And he doesn't feel comfortable with himself or any of the guys that we have using it. So he would like to put it on Gov Deals. Sell it, get rid of it, clear up that space of storage in the yard and be done with it. So I said, I'd bring it to you guys. Council bought it, so it's up to council whether we sell it or we keep it. So. Sell it.
We talked about it, so.
I think we have to do like a notice of advertisement for, Gov Deals.
It's Gov Deals and we use the other one, the new one that
Yeah,
we're
the
using.
other one that we
To
did
do a
last
list
time,
of what we're selling.
Yeah, name of the other municipal. But I think we have to like state when we're gonna advertise it, how long it's gonna be there, so if that's okay, we do it at the, like, kind of fair resolution for the next council meeting, just so I can make sure we have all the right things. Or
Not the.
I'll do it for the first January, like the regular.
What will they use for the train station?
We plow it.
Yeah.
We get 2 guys in there, it's like a snowplow rodeo. Get something really fast.
And especially with the storm going up.
I mean, for me to put that on the machine and go down
Right.
Philadelphia Avenue with it, I'm blocking 2 lanes of traffic to get down through the thing. I mean, the fire department is another huge lot that we have. We keep them open so they can park in an emergency. We keep the front open. The rest of the lot we do when we're done everything else. And by then it's almost out. So, and if not, one of them usually hits it and keep going, and maybe with his plow and his Jeep or somebody else may hit it. But it's just sitting there. And to me, it's money. You know what I mean? So that would help us possibly pay for the wood. So
Yeah. So I would ask, yeah, absolutely, let's sell it. Maybe let's do an inventory if there's anything else that we have that is no longer in use or we need or whatever.
yeah, I know we just replaced two snowplows on the truck. They're in bad shape, the ones that came off. I mean, you could put a softball through them, they're rusted, but some of them new on them, so try this thing too. I mean, the mounts and all are still good. The blades themselves are pretty deplorable. But,
It's good. Anything else, Don?
No, that's it.
Thanks for your time.
can I take 1 second while I'm up here? So I just want to kind of let everybody know I did speak with Donna, and I'm sure Ryan and Jerry will bring it to speed, but I was out last week. I was away. I don't apologize for that. I don't apologize for that. Finally, I got some time off with my wife.
It was a nice tan, by the way.
Yeah, I'm feeling already. So, I do just want to take 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and give you an update. We had a catastrophe on Beethoven Street with the sewer main. The guys we use Galway Township Public Works for our sewer jetting right now. They came in, they got the jetter stuck. We had to cut 350 feet of hose off. We had to take up the manhole. We had to, shoring boxes. It was a lengthy job, but I don't want to bore you with all the details. What I want to do publicly tonight is thank the guys that were here. They stepped up like big time to fill the shoes. And I think it's notable for you guys to know that I'm very proud of what they did, the work they did, how they handled themselves. Guys rearranging their extra schedules to be here. Public Works guys offering assistance, staying late. I mean, I was really impressed with how they pulled it together. And I think that you guys should hear that. So.
Tell them they can have Friday and Monday off.
Yeah.
We're not
That was
gonna
good,
make
man.
it.
So, it was a nightmare, but usually our sewer and water issues are nightmares. That's what happens with them, but I just was very proud to come back. I came back to a 2-page report, on what happened. It was very detailed, but, the one thing they all said was they made an agreement not to call me. And, I appreciate it. It was nice. And it was nice to know that you can walk away sometimes. So, I just, like I said, again, thought it was notable to let you guys know that you got a lot of good people working here that, put a lot of their own stuff aside for the town and stayed here and got through.
Yeah, and thank you, because that shows that your leadership is affecting their job
Thank you.
performance.
Absolutely.
So we do appreciate that.
That's all I got. Thank you.
I got
Thanks so
something.
much.
Okay.
What's your schedule looking like between the 27th and the 31st?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. I don't even know if that week exists in my head. It's like a blur.
We gotta-
I just said that to Marcella,
We
but
gotta set up a meeting between utility and highway and you
Yes.
go over the, incident.
yes. So I didn't really want to get into that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I want to set up a meeting.
No, that's fine. I'm in that week, so.
Yeah.
We'll set it, I work with your schedule, so if it has to be later in the day, that's fine too.
Yeah, that's probably easier.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks.
Keith, on behalf of all council on the mayor, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I'll pass it on and they'll be happy they can have their Friday, Monday. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, Councilman Dash.
Code enforcement numbers won't come out for another week or so they'll be presented at the next regular council meeting. I would just like to mention that there's oftentimes posts on social media about dilapidated buildings that need to be torn down. There was one picture in particular that I had seen, so I had reached out to Steve Hadley and kind of asked him what the status was. For that particular building, the status was Pine Lands had just given the approval, and so the other permit to tear down was in the process. So just to kind of remind everyone, it's not that code enforcement isn't doing their job, it's there are certain procedures that they have to follow and that Pine Lands requires. Any building that is over a certain age, whether it's in a neighborhood or not a neighborhood, it needs Pine Lands approval to be torn down. So the house in general that I'm speaking of, it's well on its way now. So shout out to the code enforcement, never easy job. So we appreciate what they do. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Wright, utility.
I got my, November monthly report, for sewer and water and fire. We are currently at $85,916.50. And year to date is $1,803,35.81. That's pretty much it. And like I said, me and Donna, we having a meeting with the utility committee and highway sometime on that 27th to 31st.
Okay, just don't make it a joint meeting. Okay, that's
Fine.
No, it's just gonna be the chairs.
Okay,
Exactly.
Councilwoman Brown, license ordinance.
I would like to bring up, an ordinance that I actually came across, in a newspaper article, and it's about landlord rental responsibility. This ordinance I found is out of Brick Township, New Jersey. And, the purpose of this ordinance is to basically hold the landlord accountable. The landlord is a person or persons who own or purport to own a building in which there is rented or offered for rent housing, either through written or oral lease, but it can't be more than 4 dwellings. The other part of it is you have a substantiated complaint, and that's basically a complaint for a violation of anything that is Title II C of the New Jersey statutes. as well as any local ordinances that the governing body passes. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I think this is something that we need to look into that would be a better fit to try to control the problem that we're having with the renters. Because the purpose, I just want to read real quick. The purpose of this chapter is to enable the township to take effective action to ensure that excesses arising from irresponsible renters when they occur shall not be repeated, and that landlords be held to sufficient standards of responsibility in order to preserve the peace and tranquility of the township for its permanent residents. So I will forward that to Angela, and I'll be looking to set up an ordinance meeting in regard to that, and hopefully we can kind of start looking into holding these landlords responsible for these rental properties.
Good, good. Anything else?
No, that was it.
All right, you can move on to school board.
The only thing that really happened with the school board, I don't know if you guys are aware, there was a threat called into all three of our high school districts. The school as well as the police department, I believe, handled it very well. I drop my son off to school every day because I want to drive. So I was a little concerned after I got the message in the morning, but then I saw and I felt that he was safe because the police in the school were very much on top of it. So I would like to thank Marcella for making sure that our kids are safe. And, you know, even though sometimes the threats might be outrageous, that you guys take them seriously, you know, because what happens if you don't? So I really appreciate that as a mother, to know that when I send my kid to Cedar Creek, you guys are watching out for them. So.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right, thank you. Councilman Timbers, land use and Aaron Hoffman.
Land use, we didn't have a meeting in December, something before that. Aaron happened to take the council meeting in December. The last meeting was held November 15th, and it was the first in-person meeting in quite some time. It was held at the Roundhouse Museum. The next meeting, which will be January 17th at 7:00 p.m., will also be held at the Roundhouse Museum. It was dues were collected. There was a treasury report that was done. $2,187.67 is in the checking account. Unless it's a typo, it's $21,887.67. It was also reported that the estate of Mr. John Bernetti was selling its holding in Mullica Township to Green Acres. It was also reported that the land use board, the issue that we had, that they would be reviewing and potentially acting on a proposal to designate part of the city Lake Park. That came up and was discussed. Also, Mr. Dick Colby, he reported the city has received a $30,000 forestry grant from NJDEP to replace street trees that were removed in several recent repaving projects.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything?
No.
Awesome. The only thing I have for finance is the PBA has contacted the city to start the negotiations. We did have a meeting a couple of weeks ago. Next one scheduled for mid-January, I believe. All right, moving on. Chief, the report.
Sure thing. A few things that I wanted to talk about, a little bit of follow-up from the last meeting. Councilwoman Brown, you brought up an issue with an autistic child. Somebody had reached out to you on Washington Avenue. I did a little bit of research, and Brian, you may be able to address this a little bit better. Similar to deaf child signs, I don't believe that they're actually considered traffic control devices. So it would have to be something that would be regulated by municipal. Nobody asked you, Siri.
She said she can't do that.
So I think that might be something that needs to be addressed by ordinance, to that specific area. The parents, I spoke to them, and they're like, well, we recognize that it's not a traffic control device, but even just something to alert drivers that there are children with special needs in the area. So I did want to follow up with you with that, just so it's not really a police matter, but I did look into it just so we address the needs and the concerns of the residents that have reached out.
Okay, so I'll add that to my ordinance.
With the ordinance that you just brought up, I'm wondering if we can meld that into the excessive use of municipal services ordinance. It sounds a little bit similar, I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but if code enforcement or if the police have to respond out to a residence that is a rental area.
Well, there was some parts that I didn't read, but the way the article came up was because the police were having drug deals and parties and domestic violence and things like that. And the landlord was actually 86 years old, but he had a history of renting to not so savory characters. And the township was tired of it.
Yeah.
So they made an ordinance. So I'm sure we can kind of go in there, maybe tweak it. That was just, I seen it and I was like, that's a good base for what we need to do.
No, absolutely, I agree, and I think that if we can flesh out the excessive use
Yes.
ordinance, then, maybe we can make it even more useful to
Yes.
help address some of the rental concerns.
Yes.
So just thought I would bring that up. So we had a lot of stuff happening here in Culver City since our last council meeting. One of the big things, of course, that just to address the dump truck into 1500 White Horse Pike. I personally would like to say to Keith from Public Works, to the code enforcement folks, to the fire department, I have not seen such great collaborative work from city departments in a long, long time. We were out on the White Horse Pike, 4 of us were standing, Butch, Steve Hadley, Keith and I were standing there and we're like, okay, this is what we need to do, let's go. It was really amazing to see. I am so absolutely grateful, and somebody's looking out for Culver City, because it's amazing that nobody was seriously injured during that accident, that unfortunate accident. It is still under investigation. At this point in time, it does not look like there was anything that the driver did wrong. He actually looks to have driven pretty well, because he managed to avoid a lot of other obstacles and nobody else was hurt. It looks like it was some catastrophic mechanical failure on the part of the truck. But so I appreciate all of the hard work that you guys did through, and code enforcement was really, really instrumental in making sure that everything remained safe and to try to keep people out. So kudos to everybody who was involved with that, especially all of the utilities companies as well. So I think that's something that, from a law enforcement perspective, I really, really appreciate it, and commend the collaborative effort there. On a positive note, we did have our Shop with a Cop on Saturday, December 4th at Culver City. Had 3 children attend. There were 4, but the 4th could not attend. Sergeant Curley and I were at the PAL Center, the new PAL Center. I know you've seen it in there. At that point in time, Hector Tavares told us that that would be our last Shop with a Cop. However, it is now going to be called Holidays with Heroes, because PAL is trying to incorporate all of our local heroes, to include fire, EMS, and our local military. So that way everybody can be involved in that great day. Additionally, PAL is going to try to not just have it be a Christmas thing. So Holidays with Heroes will be something more. There's a 4th of July celebration where we have kids that can do certain things. We can come out to the lake and do that. So, those are exciting things. We did have a wonderful time. It was amazing. There were over 120 kids, I believe. And I think every law enforcement department in the county, as well as fire departments and our local 177 from the 177, were out and shopping at Walmart. And I'm sorry to anybody who was at Walmart on that Saturday. It was mine. So we did have that. The coalition is, as always, is doing wonderful things. They had their Festival of Hope at the middle school last Wednesday. I unfortunately was not able to attend, but I understand that there was great attendance, and a lot of people were very happy to be back in person, doing things, seeing things. A lot of great services were offered to residents through utilities, healthcare, and just a lot of other resources for those who needed them. Chef Andre, I don't know if you guys saw or see, comes around and provides food usually every week, every 2 weeks. He was out at Lincoln Park today in a food truck, and he had some really great barbecue and then some chicken and potatoes. He will be out at Rittenberg Manor next Wednesday from 4 to 6. So anybody can stop by and grab some food. Chef Andre does great work. And Candace, as always with the coalition, is all over the place doing all kinds of things here in the community. The Christmas tree lighting was amazing. Everything went off without a hitch. It's I unfortunately could not attend that as well. However, I understand it was very, very beautiful. Cedar Creek, we had a wonderful time coordinating with the mayor and with the high school for the championship game that was here at Cedar Creek. Unfortunately, we did not do a 1 a.m. parade after they won up at Rutgers. Oh geez, okay, well, I slept through it, but you know, kudos to the Cedar Creek community. I think it was really, really important this year that we had the camaraderie and that everybody came out to support the Cedar Creek football team, especially after having been at home for 1.5 years. I think it really, really showed a lot of community support. So that was awesome to see. Let's see what else we got here. The Christmas parade is coming up. I have been asked very specifically, they're going to be lining up the opposite direction. So don't face Camp Street, face Claudius. I know Jack will appreciate me having said that. Some important things that we need to address. As Councilwoman Brown brought up, we have been experiencing some threats to our local schools through social media. I did post something earlier today. I have been in constant communication with the superintendent of both the Greater Egg Harbor Regional High School District and the Egg Harbor City School District. I'm going to read to you something that was sent out to the Greater Egg parents earlier this evening. I don't have what Adrian Shelby, our superintendent here at Egg Harbor City, sent out, but I think that Mr. Reyna said it better than anything that I could try to say on the fly. So I'm going to read this to you. Today, December 16th, 2021. Good evening. Social media can provide many positive services for individuals and communities, and certainly represents a growing portion of our communication, both personally and professionally. Unfortunately, it also, by its very nature, is difficult, if not impossible, to regulate, and is a near perfect tool for the spreading of disinformation and as a means to promote violence. There is a current social media platform trend that is calling tomorrow, Friday, December 17th, National School Shooter Day. We want you to know that we are aware and remain vigilant in ensuring the safety of our students and staff. Greater Egg is in constant communication with both our local police departments and our sending school districts as we assess these social media trends. These trends that contain non-specific threats have not been found to be credible as a potential danger to our district, but we welcome and promote the community-based idea of see something, say something. We share the view that of our educational partners and local law enforcement that a proactive approach serves our communities best. I also invite you to discuss with your children the dangers of promoting or sharing these trends on social media. Negativity thrives on attention, and the more students share and spread these types of posts, the more challenges we all face as communities. We welcome the presence of our law enforcement agencies in our schools to demonstrate the strength of our relationships and our shared commitment to safety. I appreciate your continued support and involvement in the Greater Egg schools. Thank you, James Reyna. I think he hits on quite a few important things. A lot of the threats that we have seen have been so, there's no nexus to here in our area, very general, no specific date, no specific time. That doesn't mean that we are not investigating. It does not mean that we are not looking into. It does not mean that we don't take them seriously. And we've gone to the schools. I don't know at pickup if you've seen, there have been more police. I urge parents not to be panicked if there is a shelter in place. If there's a shelter in place, that means nobody's getting in or out of the school. Inside the school, your kids are safe. So, and the last thing that we want to do, and I have seen some people say, well, how come the schools haven't let us know sooner? The schools don't want to put out any information to cause a panic or put out any information before having all of it. The last thing we want is if there is a threat for everybody to run to the school. It makes our jobs harder in law enforcement, and it just kind of induces a panic. So we appreciate that everybody is very concerned. I have children in the school districts. I understand, you know, the fear and the concern. My kids are going to school. So that's how confident I feel in the communication between law enforcement agencies, our schools, and our ability and what we have done to investigate and debunk any threats that we have received. So does anybody have any questions about that? I know I just rambled on for a bit.
Real quick. Tristan, you're going to school tomorrow.
But I know what I did notice, because my son tried to stay home, and I was like, y'all got armed guards in this school. You got cops outside. But what he did say was he felt very safe. But a lot of parents did not send their kids to school that day. He was like, Mom, can you come get me? There's like nobody here. I said, no, you're going to stay there because that's what you want. I got things to do right now. But, you know, I felt very safe knowing and seeing the presence of the officers there. So, you know, it makes me feel very assured as a parent that, you know, my kid's safe there. If something does happen, you all can protect them better than I can, you know? So that's where he's going.
No, I appreciate that. And yes, all of the schools have SROs. The Egg Harbor City Community School or the school district, they have recently contracted out to a private security organization run by a retired state trooper. And I had a chance to sit down and talk to them because we do work closely with the SROs, and they're a top-notch organization. Some of you may have seen them out at the football games in the bright red security shirts. So that's just another thing that the greater Egg Harbor Regional High School District and the Egg Harbor City school districts have done to ensure the safety of our children. You know, so we have a very difficult time finding retired officers to work as SROs. SROs are retired officers. They're called class 3s, and you have to be retired for a certain amount of time. So it's very difficult to find retired officers who want to come work, but they come, they
with kids.
But this company, that's what they have. They have retired officers. They're all very squared away, and so I think that speaks volumes to how seriously the districts take the school safety and the safety of the children and the staff alike. So that's all I have to say about that right there for the time being. Let me just give you a few stats since that's what we like to do. We did have quite a few thefts from motor vehicles. I would like to urge everybody and remind everybody, please lock your car doors. Don't leave anything of value in your vehicles. I think we've had 7, since our last council meeting, we've had 7 reports of things being stolen from vehicles. We did have 1 report of some packages being stolen off of a porch. Now that it is the holiday season and there are more and more deliveries, please try to get them in as soon as possible. It does make me happy to say that even when stuff is misdelivered, sometimes it does find its way back home thanks to social media. So it's not all bad, the social media stuff. But that's what we have. We motor vehicle accidents. Of course, the motor vehicle accidents that stemmed from the dump truck in the house. There were a few on the White Horse Pike that looked a lot worse than they were. Fortunately, no serious injuries. We've had 87 traffic stops. We've had 6 arrests. We've done a lot of crime prevention activities, including property checks, driving around, doing that kind of thing. And 1 aggravated assault, 3 burglaries, 3 simple assaults, 1 stolen motor vehicle, and 6 thefts. But that's all I have right now. Anybody have any questions?
Anyone? I do have one thing. I would really like to see us either do it on our own or combine with a neighboring municipality for National Night Out next year.
I know that right before COVID, there was a meeting and you were very excited about that. And I think that if not on the actual night out, but do something similar, absolutely. I think that, supporting and making it not necessarily just policing, but all of our services.
And we've done that before through the coalition.
Yes.
And community.
So I'd like to see that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I also like the idea of the strategic planning. Now that you say that, it worked well for the police department. I think that it could work well for the city, and I think that it might provide a lot of insight into where the city is going and how the elected officials can best represent the citizens who elected them. So I think that's awesome. All right, that's it. Yes, National Night Out. I like it.
Thanks, Chief.
You're very welcome. One more thing. You may see more officers out on the road throughout the county and throughout the state. It is time, it's the holiday season, lots of holiday parties, however, it is, drive sober or get pulled over. In today's day and age with Uber and whatnot, please be safe, please drive safely, celebrate safely, wish everybody a happy holiday, and we'll be driving around while everybody's eating their turkeys and drinking their eggnog. We'll be driving around, so.
Can you mention if you're rain date on the parade?
Oh, yes, thank you.
I should have, I forgot.
No, and that's there is no rain date for the parade, so we're doing this. Fortunately, right now, it looks like it's a 50% chance of rain, but, we're keeping our fingers crossed and hopefully we'll get this, because we have worked tirelessly with Department of Public Works and with Brenda Ruth and changed the parade route a little bit so that more people can enjoy it. So we really want to make this happen. So, but yeah. All right, I'm really done this time. Thanks. All right.
Jody,
Okay.
awesome.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Angela.
What?
Beautiful.
What?
And then Brian.
All right. I got something on the agenda. I at least do that. All right, skip everything else if you want. Atlantic Avenue, we have a change order. The change order is essentially awarded this guy a contract well over a year ago. And there's price escalations that are obviously every day. So this will not impact the city budget. We don't anticipate. The city had funded the engineering design. It was eligible for up to a $25,000 reimbursement for engineering design. And we awarded a contract for 204, 250 and 20. So we're going to be able to reimburse the engineering design that already occurred and use that to offset this. And then the steel and asphalt price adjustment items, which are right around $2,400 right now, which is probably continue to go up. So we expect that the full value of that will be covered in one.
So basically, did we save money in that, but we have to spend the same amount of money?
Yeah, so you get reimbursed for something that already happened, and then we give it to him instead. But that keeps us under contract with our grant eligible, essentially. The grant funding timeline for this was a while ago, but held in finance forever. So this allows us to keep moving forward, keep this guy in contract with the program. That's all.
Cool. Washington Avenue, right? We talked about that. We got that grant to start that.
Yes.
Spring next year.
Yeah, we'll be submitting a proposal to design for that, probably for the January meeting.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we can get that out. We can get out the 200 block Chicago Avenue, we have funding to do that as well. And speaking of Chicago Avenue, we did get sort of unofficial word that there's going to be a bunch of discretionary fee grants awarded before Christmas, so we're hoping we will won them. So we're just waiting here on that.
Would that cover the whoops?
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
Steve's question.
that's yeah. We submitted a $100,000 application for the regional work and for the service. So yeah, that's where. Yeah, no, of course. And then Keith covered the sewer break, but yeah, that was a fun one. The animal cell was pretty good. There's a repair there probably from 30 years ago or so, because I called Jerry about it just to bounce get ideas from him. And he said, "Oh yeah, we repaired the line going this way," and I was like, "No, not that way, the other way." And he said, "No, I don't remember that." I said, "Well, it's PVC, so it's not original. But somebody repaired it at some point." All right, well, that's got to be at least 30 years old. So this is a repair that was done a long time ago and not particularly well, but held up for 30 years. So this one is, at least as long. But yeah, like I said, like he said, they did a good job. They mobilized. They got the resources and they got the experts. So
I just reviewing stuff because it's our last meeting of the year. We're not having another meeting for another month,
Yeah.
really. So subdivisions moving forward.
Yeah, we're anticipating submitting that in January.
Okay. Solar project.
Yeah, I actually talked to those guys earlier today because they're working with you and they're working with the Board of Ed with them as well. So they're still working on the application and design documents.
Okay. Am I missing anything else? Solar project.
I can go through, I got the whole list.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it short.
Well, no, like I said, last meeting of the year.
Sure, all right, so Wawa got their subdivision, I just sent a notice to Donna that we're gonna sign up for their subdivision application. They had some issues with Pinelands where their stormwater basins are going to technically be on the adjacent property. And the way the stormwater management rules are, you have to have full control and responsibility for basins. So they had to craft rather lengthy and detailed easements to say, we will be on your property, we will be responsible for it in perpetuity, and so on and so forth. So they got that straightened out. They had to get a revised subdivision plan in. So I was able to do that with compliance with that filing all today and get that done. So we'll be signing that in the next couple of days to get it back to them so they can file and finally. Where else we talked about Chicago. Land use board, their meeting will be the 21st. Previously voted to reconsider the sheet application, so that's the only thing that's on that agenda. The tower site, we have a draft MOU back from the group that we're agreeing with, so everyone will have to catch up. There's a couple of sections where we still got to work things out. So we're probably going to try to set something up again next week and flush out some details there. So we can get there. So that's all I have on my list.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything you did this year. All right, moving on. So the pastor of Christ Wesleyan Church sent an email out asking if they could utilize Lincoln Park for a Christmas Eve service. I didn't see any opposition to it, so I have it on the agenda tonight. So I'm sure we're all in favor. May I have a motion? Big motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Jersey Shore Council Boy Scouts of America, use of the Eckhart City Lake for their annual Southern Shore District Contact 30, January 7th, 22. through-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So it's the end of the year, we gotta do some budget appropriation transfers. If there's no opposition or comments or concerns, may I have a motion? Second, and roll call?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. Moving on to resolution, chapter 159, Sustainable Community Stewardship Grant, $5,000. City Council of Egg Harbor requests the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of an item of revenue in the budget of the year 2021 in the sum of $5,000, which is now available for the Sustainable Communities Program, in the amount of $5,000. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. So 16 and 17 are 2 and 1 pretty much. 16 is rescinding the resolution that we approved last month for the truck mounted attenuators, which that is the aluminum framing that reduces impact if somebody wasn't paying attention and rolled in and collided with a county truck. More or less a directional arrow truck. So the county did more investigation and they are more in favor now of the trailer mounted attenuators for safety reasons. So if I can have a motion on number 16 to rescind that resolution and then a motion for 17 to accept the change to a trailer mounted attenuator.
Second. I'll second.
All right, all in favor for 16?
Aye.
And a roll call for 17?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heiss,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Wright,
Yeah.
Ritchie.
Yes. So number 18 is what Brian just spoke on. I think he spoke in great detail. We don't really have to go into it anymore unless anybody has any more questions or concerns.
Make motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heiss,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Wright,
Yeah.
Ritchie.
Yes. And number 19 is a resolution for emergency contract award December 8th, emergency sewer main rates out in Paris and Beethoven that Keith just spoke about a little bit ago. The city's on-call road sewer and water repair contractor was unavailable due to medical issues. Utility department reached out to several contractors, and Permanent Finnegan was the only available to complete the work immediately. An emergency contract was awarded to Permanent Finnegan for the sewer main repair. Any questions or comments?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. Okay, number 20 is a resolution for insurance fund. As those of you that may or may not know, every 3 years, the city has to renew their insurance policy and choose between 1, 2, 3 entities. We did our due diligence. We got quotes from Atlantic County JIP. We got quotes from statewide. At the end of the day, we had to spend $1,200 in order to get a quote from County JIP. That $1,200 in our eyes was well spent because what had came back to us was statewide came in $100,000 less. County JIF, they come in low, did say it was more money, but the lateral coverages didn't compare enough for the savings. So everyone on council has reviewed all that appropriate information to make a very educated decision when it comes to our city and the insurance fund moving forward for the next 3 years. Again, if we were to stay with statewide, it's $100,000 savings, 5 cents on the tax rate. If I'm not mistaken, Jody, is that correct?
I'm sorry.
$100,000, 5 cents, yes. And again, that wouldn't, I don't think that would have been made possible if we didn't move forward to due diligence to spend the $1,200 to get the quote from the county JIP. So does anybody have any questions or comments? All right, may I have a motion? So moved.
There's 3 separate resolutions.
Yes, so number 20. May I have a motion for subject to approval of the assessments that were provided to us?
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol.
Yes.
Wright.
Yeah.
Ritchie.
Yes. Number 21 is a resolution for the fund indemnity and trust agreement. May I have a motion on that?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. Now 22 comes to our decision. May I have a motion for the resolution to join either fund, either be county JIP or statewide?
Make a motion, we follow with statewide insurance.
Second.
Anybody opposed? I have a second by Councilman Trithol. May I have a roll call, please?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol.
Yes.
Wright.
Yeah.
Ritchie.
Yes. All right, we're gonna, I'm sorry, pardon me, public hearing for ordinance number 16, 2021, salary ordinance amendment. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, public, anybody from the public like to speak on this ordinance number 16, 2021 in regards to amending the salaries and wages of bargaining personnel of Harlem City? Going once, twice.
Make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist, Sefton, Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol.
Yes.
Wright. Ritchie.
Yes. May I have a motion to advertise notice of adoption in the Hampton Gazette on December 22nd, 2021? Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
All right, I'll let Meg catch up.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Sefton,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol. Wright. Ritchie.
Yes.
Oh, you jumped.
Mayor, the floor is yours for any final comments this year.
Just one thing I forgot to mention, Principal Jack Griffith is retiring as principal. He'll be sadly, it'll be sad for us, happy for him, I guess, but he'll be missed. When we moved into the Egg Harbor City Community School, it was a night and day transformation, and Jack really led that school, and he led it well, and he brought our schools up to snuff, basically, and it was an absolute pleasure to work with him for 16 years, actually, and I can tell you, he's a good man who cares a lot about Egg Harbor City, and I will be bringing him in next year in 2022, and to do a proclamation for him. So, and then I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and Happy New Year, everyone. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, man. So I'm gonna open up, actually. First and foremost, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, sir. Bless you in the new year. I personally want to say this year, and this is heartfelt, I feel very proud of everyone sitting up here, from the mayor to my fellow council members, to our professionals, to us, to the employees. Granted, it was my third year on council, but I've never witnessed, I started involving myself in the situation, a team that came together so well, with a little bit of tribulation here and there, but came together so well to represent the city that elected them to sit up here. And that's coming from the heart. You guys did a hell of a job this year. And we ended it on a high note last night. And I think we proved a lot to the people that we represented. What happened last night was a true form of democracy at the end of the day. And I want to applaud everyone up here, from the mayor to the council, to our professionals, to our city employees, to every last one of you. You guys, we made strides this year, and I hope we continue to make those strides moving into 2022. So again, Merry Christmas to everyone, Happy New Year, and God bless you in the years to come. So moving on, I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Heiss.
Just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, enjoy your families, hug your little ones really tight, and bask in the magic of Christmas. It's a very important holiday. The true meaning of it, follow it. I hope everybody has a blessed new year, and we'll see you in 2022.
Councilwoman, second, sorry. Trying to give you twice.
Really, Joe, there's a million other people. I just want to say, Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year. Please stay safe during the holidays. And I want to also thank Mark. He did a great job. Nice to see him back. And that's right.
Thank you. Councilwoman Brown.
I would like to wish everyone a happy holidays. I won't say Merry Christmas because different people celebrate in different ways, so we want everybody to be included and enjoy their holidays. But what I really wanted to say tonight was I feel a little bittersweet because, as you guys know, Ingrid, it's her last meeting, and over the time that I've gotten to know her, she is a true asset to anything that she's been involved in. The knowledge, the patience, the research that she does. I just want to tell you that I am truly gonna miss you up here. Your energy is so awesome, and I hope that you just keep moving forward. Don't let nobody stop you.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna miss you.
We're all gonna miss her.
I know, who am I gonna check with?
I'll sit next to me.
Check me out.
Thank you. You good? Was that everything? Okay.
Yeah, because I was about to start crying, so I'm just gonna stop.
Councilman Dash.
A few thank yous. First of all, Ingrid, I gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. I know we're gonna continue to work together. I begged you to run. And I appreciate the fact that you came into our club and you joined us, and we're all for the better for you being here. And again, I want to continue working with you.
Thank you.
I'd like to give a shout out to Brenda Ruth. Brenda Ruth, for those of you that know, she runs the Christmas parade every year, but she does quite a bit more. Anyone who has had kids come through Crusaders or through Cedar Creek probably has hundreds of pictures of their kids in sports. She does quite a bit of photography pro bono. She's an amazing person, and she probably is not happy about me mentioning this, but I really appreciate all she does for the kids and for the city. I'd like to thank Nanette Galloway. Nanette doesn't always say things that I like to hear, but I respect her for being honest. At the last council meeting, she pretty much blasted us for something that she felt was wrong. And my opinion is she was absolutely right. And I'm very, very happy that the situation turned the way it did. I'm thrilled with the amount of people who came out to last night's meeting. I appreciated how everybody was so respectful to everyone. Keep in mind, we came to that meeting knowing that we had 300 people angry at us, and it was an absolute pleasure sitting up there listening to everyone. I took notes from pretty much everyone that spoke, and I want to absolutely thank them for that. There's another Facebook page called Friends of Egg Harbor City Lake Park. I think that could be a very positive thing. I'm hoping that they will continue to stay involved in the city and help bring some additional resources to the city and help us do even better with the lake. The lake is a tremendous asset, and I commend the mayor for all the work that she's done over the years for the improvements. And just finally, I'd like to just wish everyone blessings of the season. Wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a happy and safe New Year for our law enforcement, for all of our friends, all of our residents. Have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Tripod.
Well.
It's gonna be hard to follow that,
Follow
right?
that. Happy holidays, everybody. Ingrid, it's been a pleasure to work, with you up here. Thank you to all the employees, Lake Harbor City, keeping us safe, and with the things that sewers do and everything. I'd also like to extend, Councilwoman Bessie, for, we look forward to working with you as well. But be safe, be healthy, and enjoy each other. Well,
Councilman Timbers.
I just want to say happy holidays to everyone. This has been kind of an interesting year. It's been a long year, but it went by in a blip. It's kind of amazing. So many things happened this year. I mean, we're one more year of COVID. Crazy. I'm sitting up here, I got my mask on. Take it off so you can hear me a little bit better. I'm happy for my own health. I pray that everyone out there that they have good health through this holiday, that we all see the new year healthy. Things are looking, they're actually looking good. There are a lot of things that are encouraging. And but with that, I still I want to voice like everyone else. I want to say thank you to Ingrid. You'll be missed. I appreciate your effort. When I had the opportunity to sit next to you, I appreciate your comments. You always had something positive and insightful, and I appreciate you for that. That's pretty much it. Everyone have a happy Merry Christmas. Whatever holiday you'll be celebrating, I hope it is a merry.
Thank you. Councilman Ray.
I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. The most important thing is I really want to give a big shout out to Cedar Creek. What they did this year is historic. These kids, I've been coaching this group of kids for 13 years. These kids have won it at every level. These kids just brought it out. I mean, you got kids that just won state defensive player of the year. Kid won MVP state of New Jersey. Best catch of New Jersey. I mean, these kids are phenomenal, and I know Chief said there wasn't no parade for those kids, but I damn sure made sure there was one when they came around that Carver City at 1 o'clock. We were at Crossroads, we had the champagne, we were spraying the buses, we were hoo-hawing and giving a good rock, whoever the kids were awake. So, but, and come to find out, most of the kids went home with their parents, so the buses was probably. It was a thought. But I do want to give a big shout out. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Coach of the Year, Cedar Creek. It's just a blessing, man. And the group that they got coming behind them, I see at least a couple more right behind it. And what they have, that Cedar Creek, I know there's been, I think I just got on Cedar Creek and just on the city council when Cedar Creek got approved to be built. And there's a lot of people that were, didn't want it, didn't want this, didn't want that, it was gonna be this. Cedar Creek is probably one of the best ranked high schools in the state. It's unreal. It really is. And I just, it's 11 years. The kids got 3 state champions. And a population between Moloch and Edward City is just unbelievable. These kids, athletes that are coming through these little towns. And I just got to give, it sucks because you've been with these kids since they were 5 years old, and now they're off to the next level, and it's really emotional to watch these kids move on to their next in life and the next group stepping up. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to that team this year. They did wonderful things.
They're taking you with them, miss.
Right
here, they'll take you with them the whole.
It wasn't me, it's the kids. Man. I mean, listen, if I could take credit for anything, it's keeping these kids at Cedar Creek. Because half of those kids didn't want to go to Cedar Creek at the time, whatever the case may be. They thought maybe going to a different school to get better looks or whatever. And sitting down with the parents and the kids and keeping them in the town, I could take credit for that. But the rest of that, that's them. That's all that. It's just a blessing to see that, in this little town that was what's coming through. And my phone keeps ringing. There's probably going to be another about 20 to 25 transfers going into Cedar Creek next year, coming from all over Atlantic County. So for those that, it's just hard. You hear all this stuff about Egg Harbor City, like a lot of the stuff that went on last night about how crappy Egg Harbor City is and crappy this and crappy that. They never fail to look at the other prospects of Egg Harbor City that, that's really there. And, it's these kids, and this is our future. Without these kids, our future, no, this is what you want to come back in our town to turn over. And I'll tell you what, that was one of my biggest reasons why I changed my vote last night. If it wasn't for those kids, I probably would have stood by my vote. But to see that I'm not going to be here, these kids are going to be through this town. And if I made a decision and in 20 years that building became vacant, and now I might be long and gone, but these kids got the next generation how to deal with that. So I just want to, like I said, give a big shout out to Cedar Creek and happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you. So Ingrid, I personally want to say thank you. You are a crush to me throughout this year. We bounce a lot of stuff off each other. We argue a lot. We play tennis a lot with each other. You're an asset in any way you look at it. You're not being up. There's going to be a loss, absolutely. I hope Miss Essie fills your shoes well. And all I can say at the end of the day is thank you.
Thank you.
All right, floor is yours.
See, now, this is why I write things down, because I have a tendency to cry when I do public speaking. That is my crutch. So I'm just gonna get into this because I know we all want to get home. It's 8:43. Let's wrap this up on a good note. All right, so I would like to take this opportunity to thank council for putting your faith in me. Here we go. Sorry.
You want me to read it for you?
No, I'm a good girl. I can do it. I thought I wasn't gonna cry till the end, but here we go. All right. To fill in the shoes of former councilman Angelo Lello this past January. I can only hope that my time served has reinforced that faith and that I was able to earn a modicum of the respect he earned during his tenure on council. I am most proud of the history and the goals we were able to accomplish this year and hope that in the spirit of true progress for our town,
you continue to listen to each other, respect each other, and remember that we are all working for a common goal, regardless of our party affiliation. In my 40 years of living in Egg Harbor City and as a Latina, I am honored to have been part of a small chapter of the over 160 years of history of this diverse town. To the citizens of Egg Harbor City, last night's special meeting was an amazing display of democracy and a hopeful indication of improving and mending relationships between the governing body and the residents. As I mentioned last night, this unification is a true definition of Harbor Strong. Thank you for being respectful, informative, and letting your voice be heard loud and clear. As my time as your councilwoman draws to a close, I want you to all remember last night and use that energy to continue the dialogue, continue to involve our children, and continue to speak for the past, present, and future generations of our town. Continue to show us and future council the true meaning of progress within the community. I am confident that my fellow council members up here are all listening and will continue to listen and will work in the best interest of Egg Harbor City and its residents. I challenge you all to remain active in our city and not shy away from asking the hard questions of your elected and potentially elected officials. Progress is not an easy road. It is scary, unpredictable, and does not always come with a familiar face or familiar name. Each election day, I encourage you to do your due diligence on each candidate's willingness to listen and make the hard decisions for you, regardless of party affiliation or personal interest. Thank you to my husband, Jason, and my 3 sons, Tristan, who's here, Sebastian, and Elijah, for your sacrifices and support over these last years while I pursued this. Thank you to my mom for teaching me the value of standing strong for what I believe in and not taking any crap from anyone, especially Joe Ritchie. Thank you to my friends, both new and old, for keeping me going even when I doubted myself. There is still work to do, and this is not the end. May everyone enjoy the holidays with your loved ones, and may the new year bring new insight, progress, and revitalization to Egg Harbor City. I love you all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everyone. May I have a motion to now open up to the public? Might be kind of hard to follow that.
Second.
All right, anybody from the public like to speak?
There's someone on Zoom, right? No.
Yes.
Is it action, Anthony? You'd like to? Oh, it's on that.
Friends in action?
Hello, council. Good evening, Mayor.
Hi, Anthony.
I'm Anthony Brower. I'm President and CEO of Friends in Action Incorporated in Atlantic City. The reason why I'm joining the council this evening is the council member, Carl Timbers, and also Mayor Lisa Giampetti know that Friends in Action as an organization strives, I'm like, to help out communities far and wide. This year, as in the past, we have our Christmas toy drive. Our toy drive is for needy families. It goes from Atlantic City to Philadelphia. This morning, me and my vice president, we were in Camden today with a distressed school, bringing to them the necessary things that they needed for the children, and had a day of shopping in the school. Our Facebook page is there. It's called Friends in Action Incorporated. And we also have our next page called Santa's Secret Workshop, where anybody on the council that knows a family in need can go on the page and nominate them. And then we see the parent's age, the child's age, address, and everything. And then, if need be, we get asked one of the police officers to go and deliver to this family. Usually we launch the page Christmas Eve because it's a secret. And then they'll go around to the communities. I'm like, hey, of all the needy children, I understand that 4 kids did not make your holiday shopping with an officer. Well, if we have those 4 families and children, we will make sure that they have something. We did talk to the mayor, So, and call about trying to get a list together. Well, we have so many things going on, I'm like, within Atlantic City and certain other areas. The sooner we get the information, myself and my officers, I'm like, we'll go. The gifts are wrapped. They're specifically aged them. They're not done per child, of just the ages. So if I have 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, we shop by age, not by per child. And so if any of the council have any questions, we have been doing this. The Friends Action has been in existence since 2014. So we have been having our holiday drives, Easter for children. We have been servicing from Atlantic City and other cities beyond. We're just glad that we're able to come tonight to the council because the call is also down in City Hall, Atlantic City. So when I gave him the idea, he called Lisa. And so now here we're before you, let you know that our organization is a vessel to be used and we're here to help you as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions for?
Anthony, I think we have 10. Anthony, we have 10 kids, I think, so far. And,
Okay, beautiful.
hopefully we'll get that information on there. Did you set a date yet? Or do we need a date for the wrapping or what are we doing with that?
Well, the toy wrapping is going to be done this weekend on Saturday and on Sunday. On Saturday it's from 9 till 4, on Sunday from 11 till about 3. If those areas, I know Jeff had made mention to possibly doing a toy wrapping for those children there in Egg Harbor City. So to have some of the council there, some of the office staff, maybe a sponsor, whatever, they'd like to come on out and wrap toys. We'll bring all the stuff. Just come on out and share the festivities. And then also, maybe they want to deliver the toys. So we'll be glad to give everything that you need. I'm like, hey, for you to be able to, find ways to, work. As we did during the summertime, we did the back to school for those children out there, back in Philadelphia apartments, whatever. We had did the back to school for the kids, the football game. So again, we'll provide everything that you need. I'm like, my organization will be glad to help out.
And you did the bingo too at Rittenberg Manor, which I missed that.
I have 2 questions. First of all, do you have a website?
We're on Facebook, as you see, it's called Friends in Action Incorporated on Facebook. You'll see the 3 people pushing the ball, okay? That's where we post all our information. I'm like, I don't have the website up right now. Standard Secret Workshop is also on the page too. You can actually see both pages there. Now, when you nominate somebody, it is anonymous. The only ones that can see it is myself and my 2 vice presidents. We're the only ones that can see the families that are nominated. And then we then provide everything for them. And we put a bag together with the information. And then if it's a police officer that's delivering or council delivering, you go right to the person's door, knock on the door, Standard Secret Workshop, and here you go, and leave. And the stories that the community come and say when they realize that they thought nobody thought about them. I mean, some of them are tear jerkers. I mean, so, for those of you that participate or would like to know, you will hear what the community feels and in their heart. And sometimes I'm like, it just moves you for wanting to do more in service to the community. And as I said, we've been doing this from 2014 to now, whatever, and we just keep going on and on and on.
And my second question, since I also run a nonprofit organization in Atlantic City, do you accept financial donations? And are you able to collect financial donations through your Facebook page?
Well, the Facebook page, I'm like, hey, what I do, I'm like, hey, is give information to where they can, if they want to do a check, they can do a check. I'm like, hey, through Friends in Action Incorporated, we have a PO box, whatever. I leave all information on the page, whatever. So if anybody wants to donate, we also have a Cash App too as well. So the information can be provided for anybody. If they just send me a message, I can then automatically reply back to where they can send a check and everything too.
Awesome, great, thank you very much.
I have another question from Councilwoman Brown.
I'm very interested in helping wrapping as well as delivering toys. I want to dress up in have some lights around my neck and just get in the spirit and make somebody's day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very interested in helping out in any way I can. So is it okay if I reach out to Carl and get your information?
Not a problem. December 21st, we have our first toy giveaway. It's going to be at Vagabonds in Atlantic City with the fire department, like a citywide towing, the tram car company, Friends in Action, Detail Our Sneaker Store. So we're going to have one of our giveaways where people can see that we move around, all around through the city. I'm like, hey, our police officers deliver the toys for Atlantic City on Christmas Eve. We move around, and also when people are delivering toys going out as far, I'm like, I talked to Senator Troy Singleton, so I'll also be out there in Willingboro, delivering toys out there as well, whatever. So we have been from here down to Wilmington, Delaware. We've been so many places, it's not even funny. But I'm like, yeah, the community gets to see that, a lot of people have a good heart. And like I said, it's friends in action. So it's not Anthony, it's friends. And all our friends can help us out to make the family's day. So we welcome you to come over and wrap toys and get the information from Carl.
Thank you.
And I'll post a link on our Facebook page to their Facebook page.
Anybody else? Anthony, God bless you for doing this, man. It's amazing.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me here at your meeting.
Yeah, and our CFO, she's gonna share your page to our city Facebook page, correct?
Yes.
So your information will be shared on our city page. So, you have anything else for us, sir? Is that all?
That's all. Like I said, we hope this, if you can, we hope to see you the 21st, so you can be a part of what we do in Atlantic City and see that we do that here, and we will do that in every city. We will come out that way with the help of fire department, police department, bring toys, find a location, and the community come on out to the location and just participate. And we have the cookies and the chocolate milk, and it's a whole big thing, whatever. So y'all see it.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy, have
Sorry.
you done this? I'm gonna do more Zoom first, or you wanna-
In this room.
Yeah, anybody in the room? We'll do the room first. Come on up.
Oh, here, thank you. Gina Wasik, 1850 Liverpool. I wanted to thank Ingrid Clark for the wonderful year of service that she did to Harvey City. I don't know how much time a lot of you have gotten a chance to speak to her, but she's phenomenal. She has so many great ideas. I'm sure some that she's shared with council and others that she's been working on. She has an ear. She listens. It doesn't matter whether or not she agrees with you. She'll sit there and listen. She will talk to you. She'll find out, what your concerns are. She'll also go out of her way to help you out. And I've seen what she does for a lot of the young people in this town, and a lot of the old people too. I thank you so much, Ingrid. I'm so sorry that you're not going to be sitting up there moving forward. But I do know that you've never stopped helping the city. Throughout, since I've met you, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, you've done a lot. You've done a lot to help the young people in this town. And I thank you. And I hope to see you sitting up there. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael Sheridan, 2326 New York Ave. I just wanted to take the time to thank council for the way they.
Get up here.
All the way up? Yeah, sure. Want me to come to the podium or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank everyone for the way they handled themselves at the meeting. I am one of the admins of the Friends of City Lake Park Facebook page. I didn't create the page, but I was brought on as an admin. I'm doing most of the moderation now. So kind of came into this process a little jaded. Coming out of Philly, there's a park there called Penn Tree Park. It's right on the river. A couple years ago, they sold a lot next to us. A lot of us went to the meetings and tried to get them to stop that and to keep it as park space, expand the park. Well, they sold it off, sold it to a developer. They were putting in mansions pretty much, and halfway through, the developer ran out of money. It became blighted and abandoned. And eventually it started to burn down because addicts were living in there, and pretty much it's a mess. So we were looking at blighted property for a year. It was eventually knocked down. So coming here after going to so many council meetings, I just seen so many things rubber stamped. It was just very impressive to see the council respond to the way the citizens presented themselves at the meeting. And I just have a lot of respect for that. So I want to take it a little step further. We have a lot of eyes on the page right now. There's a lot of people offering to help, and I want to hold them to it. So we'd like to start small, maybe doing some sort of volunteer cleanup, especially in the main parts of the trail. So just like to know, who I can work with there. I was talking to Sustainable EHC a little bit, who we should work with to, whether we got to raise funds or get materials for cleaning or whoever to do, just let us know where we can help. So I definitely want to be a leader organizing people of the page and start getting some regular action So if you wanted, someone wants to come up to me after the meeting or whatever, just let me know.
Pretty much would be me.
Okay, all right, awesome. The second thing I wanted to bring up is it okay after a couple specific questions about the Brunetti lot that you mentioned in the planning board thing at the beginning? Is that okay to ask that here? The Brunetti lot, you said that they were being sold to Green Acres?
It's something that was,
It's a different-
report. I was just giving the report.
Okay.
The issue will probably come back up in the next meeting, which is January 17th.
Okay. Do you know if the lots have been sold to Green Acres?
I'm actually not sure.
Okay,
I can give you the chair of Aaron Hoffman
awesome.
that you could.
Okay, because it's the lots on Indy Cabin and Nagali, right? Like back in that section, is that it, do you know? I hike back.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But Todd's president of Aaron Hoffman, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know, because I hike back there, sometimes, and I've definitely been, people have like chopped trees down saying there's like no access to these lots on some of the trails and things like that where the people are hunting at. So I was always a little iffy on where, if it's a right of way or if the trails are like right of ways or they're actually considered private property, can't walk on. So if there's anyone I can direct those questions to, that'd be great.
Are you interested in joining Aaron Hoffman? Because they could use new members.
I mean, I have quite a bit of free time right now. I'm not currently working. My wife currently is the one working, so I'm kind of stay-at-home dad doing things. So I spent a lot of time volunteering in Fishtown, around the chess club there. I helped out with a lot of the parks, a lot of cleanups, raised a lot of funds with COVID. I have a little bit of background in public service. I definitely like to offer my services here where I can. I've only been here a little less than a year,
I'll
so.
write down your phone number.
Sure, yeah. I can give you an email too, so you want
Yeah,
to shoot your
I
email
can.
as well. But that's all I had. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your speaking last night, and thank your wife also for speaking.
Yeah, I'll let her know that.
I
Yeah.
did give you my card.
Uh,
last time.
I think so, yeah, I emailed you a couple times,
Yeah,
I think, just once again, I can't thank everyone enough for the way that it was done. I know it seems like, turning away business like Tactical Records is a really tough thing to do, and it's like, I understand like how cities operate, always trying to get revenue in the town, it's very important, so I understand why a lot of people have the position they did, and I respect that too, because, the town's got to survive, right? I just hope you'll offer a lot of ideas on how we can really capitalize on that park and generate money. Like we can make money on that park, and hopefully I can just share some ideas I have. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else in person that would like to speak? If not, I'm gonna turn it over to the one. Two.
Good.
You're good?
Cool.
Awesome.
She's on Liverpool.
Wait, there's a couple of us, because you're the street man, you're street. woman for mine.
So if there's nobody here in person that would like to.
Tracy was the first person I heard.
And then we'll finish up with the Zoom. So go ahead.
And then Tracy right now.
Tracy, the floor is yours, if you can hear us.
Yeah, thank you. I also just want to thank the council and the mayor and everybody for all the hard work that you continue to do for the city. And for last night, it was just really amazing how just everybody came together, and appreciate so much the council listening to people, and also, just impressed with how everybody just, presented themselves with their ideas and their thoughts and their opinions. So the one thing I wanted to ask, or not to ask, but I had an idea about revenue. I mean, it might be off the wall, but I was thinking about President Biden's infrastructure bill. I don't know if there's any federal funds that might be available, to help our city with the streets and stuff like that. But I'm just throwing that out as an idea. And just thanks again, just for the wonderful hard work that, not only the council and the mayor, but, our city engineer, city solicitor, chief financial officer, and city clerk. Thank you so much all for your due diligence and all the work that you do behind the scenes. And Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody, and Happy New Year. Stay healthy. Thanks.
Thank you, Tracy. Same to you also. Nanette?
Yes.
Hey, Ms. Gallo.
I just wanted to thank Councilman Dash for your kind words. I also wanted to thank City Council and Councilman Ritchie for running such a tight meeting last night. It was good to see our citizens turn out to petition their government for redress of grievances. It's their First Amendment right, and I'm very proud of the people who live here who spoke up at the meeting. And it was great to see them get the result that they were looking for. So that's wonderful. There was one thing said at the meeting that concerned me that I wanted to bring to your attention, and that is the zoning, the R20 zoning within the park. And I'm wondering if it could be addressed in the master plan review, maybe removing it, or I don't know, maybe Ryan or the land use board could look at that to see if we could eliminate the residential housing component inside the park. Jody had submitted additional actions to Sustainable Jersey, which jacked up our qualifying score from 180 to 210, which brings us closer to silver certification. It's a long way off to 350 points, but with some of the actions and the initiatives the city's taken on with the solar and things like that, we might be able to achieve it within a year. So if we just, and with all this new renewed interest in the green team, we might have more volunteers to help out. So it might be a good thing for the city. And I just wanted to say that the mayor's comments about doing a strategic plan is a good idea. I had circulated an email today, and in it is a link to the Sustainable Jersey action for such a project. And maybe you could look at it and see their requirements for awarding points towards our organization. And then the other, I had one question, and on the agenda, there was no public comment at the head of the meeting. I'm wondering if that was an oversight, or you're changing your policy for having people talk on resolutions before they're acted on. So
It was an oversight on my behalf. I didn't catch it. I apologize. It'll be
well,
up.
it wasn't on the printed agenda either. So
Correct. It was an oversight. I apologize. It will continue to happen.
okay, I didn't have anything to say this week on the agenda, so it wasn't a problem. But and I just want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Yes, to you also.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Anybody else on Zoom that would like to speak? Going once, twice?
No motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody, Merry Christmas.
Wait,
Happy
hold
Kwanzaa.
on, wait, before everybody leaves,
Oh, no, we got to adjourn. I know where you're going. We got to adjourn.
I got it, Mason.
Okay, all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Good night.
thanks.